Approval to override ratio is a valuable metric used to understand how often standard rules, processes, or decisions are bypassed through special approvals. In modern Agile and Lean environments, where speed and adaptability are critical, this metric provides insight into how well systems are designed to handle real-world scenarios. It highlights whether teams are operating smoothly within defined guidelines or frequently stepping outside them to get work done. At its core, the approval to override ratio measures the proportion of approved exceptions compared to the total number of decisions or requests. It is commonly expressed as approval to override ratio equals approved overrides divided by total decisions. This simple calculation helps organizations quantify how often they rely on exceptions instead of standard processes. Overrides typically occur when a team or stakeholder feels that the normal process is just too slow, maybe a bit restrictive, or even misaligned with their immediate needs. For example, a team may request an override to fast-track a feature, skip a governance step, or reprioritize work outside the planned backlog. These exceptions are usually reviewed and approved by someone with authority, such as a product owner or manager. A high approval to override ratio often signals that something is not working well within the system. It may indicate that processes are too rigid, policies are outdated, or priorities are not clearly defined. When teams frequently need to bypass the system, it suggests that the standard workflow does not reflect the realities of execution. On the other hand, a low ratio generally indicates that most decisions are being handled within the established framework. This suggests that processes are well designed, teams are aligned, and there is minimal need for exceptions. It reflects a stable environment where workflows support productivity rather than hinder it. However, this metric should always be interpreted within context. In highly regulated industries such as healthcare or finance, overrides may be rare but highly controlled, making even a small ratio significant. In contrast, fast-paced startups may tolerate a higher ratio to maintain flexibility and respond quickly to changing market demands. From an agile perspective, frequent overrides can disrupt flow efficiency. Every override introduces additional steps such as approval discussions, documentation, and coordination. These extra layers slow down delivery and increase the overall effort required to move work forward. Overrides can also reveal deeper issues related to prioritization and planning. For instance, if urgent work is consistently being pushed through overrides, it may indicate that the backlog is not effectively capturing business priorities. This creates a reactive environment where teams are constantly adjusting instead of proactively planning. Another common cause of high override rates is unclear or overly complex policies. When teams do not fully understand the rules or find them difficult to follow, they are just more likely to seek exceptions. Simplifying policies and improving communication can, without a doubt, significantly reduce the need for overrides. It's important to note that overrides are not inherently bad. They actually provide flexibility and allow organizations to respond to unexpected situations. The goal isn't to eliminate overrides entirely, but to make sure they're used appropriately, and not just as a workaround for broken processes. Improving the approval to override ratio involves identifying patterns behind overrides and addressing the root causes. This might include refining backlog management, updating governance policies, empowering teams with better decision-making authority, and of course, aligning stakeholders more effectively. So, in conclusion, the approval to override ratio is a pretty powerful indicator of process health and organizational alignment. By monitoring and analyzing this metric, teams can uncover inefficiencies, reduce unnecessary friction, and design workflows that actually support real-world execution. Over time, a well-balanced ratio helps create a system that's both structured and adaptable, enabling teams to deliver value more efficiently.